I'm so glad to have met you, Monica.
Well,
Nikki,
it's
I'm
Nikki
sorry.
actually, but
I'll get
we
that.
are
My
now
mother always
live.
used to call me my sister's name. So,
No, Monica's my partner in the spiritual
yes, I
awakening.
know who she is. And
Yeah,
it says right there in front of me, Nikki, but I don't know. Monica
that's
must
all
be
right.
thinking
Don't
of
worry
us.
about it. Don't worry about it. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Okay, we're just having yes. Anyway, DeLuna has been playing some of her instruments for me, and they've just been going straight through me, and the energy's gone crazy. And so we weren't even ready when when we went live because we were too busy laughing. Anyway, never mind. Welcome, DeLuna. Hi.
Hi. Thank you
How are
for
you this
having me.
evening?
Wonderful. Thank you. Just very, very wonderful. Very delighted to be here and to be part of your family.
Thank you. Well, we are absolutely loving having you.
Mm.
DeLuna is one of our new Emerald members, so we're so happy to invite her to our little squad. And so we're just going to find out. She's got a beautiful story about, well, all sorts of different stories, actually. So I'm sure you'll be excited as I am to sort of hear about them. And DeLuna, do you want to tell me a bit about how you became spiritual, first of all? Or have you been
Well,
since your life, since you were
yes.
born?
Well, I believe. Well, first of all, can I just first start with sort of anointing this meeting with my newly found quality of frankincense CO2 that just like the flute just did to you, this frankincense does to me. So I just wanted to just bring that energy of the sacred frankincense to this gathering so that everybody can feel that energy. The frankincense has a tendency to open and connect and reconnect us to our pineal gland, to activate the spiritual connection. And so it's one of my favorites, and it's been an ally for me for several years. So okay, with that said and sniffed, um, so I was born into a family that was very wounded from World War II. My parents dodged bombs in World War II. They were in Malta, and they had a terrible time at it there. And they were pretty much, I came along a few years later. I came along in 51, and they were very traumatized. And I was supposed to just sit and be quiet, but we traveled back and forth between Malta and the British Isles every year and a half. We moved, and we in Europe. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but this is how I remember it. And in my childhood was we didn't have a Disney World. We went to the ruins. We went to the ancient places where a lot had happened. And I would, they would be rushing through like, come on. And I would see the spirits as a young child. And so I believe their trauma and the environment in our household, my safety zone was to leave my body and be with spirit and just be witnessing to what was going on out here. And that made me keenly attuned to what was going on that level. So when we traveled, that was my place that I was very ultra aware of, and I carried that into adulthood, really. And it's wonderful to be able to be present with the many dimensions, and it's probably only a few compared to all that there are, I imagine. But it's lovely to have that as an ally in my life.
Great,
Yeah.
superb. So, did you lose it at any time during your life, or is it continuous from your birth
Yeah.
or from your
Well,
you
I believe, for myself, and I believe this is pretty much one of the laws of life, is that we breathe. We breathe in and out. And so nothing is stagnant, everything is always changing and shifting. And sometimes when we have something every day, like if you eat your favorite chocolate every day, say, it becomes that it's not so tasty. It doesn't change, but just you get used to it. And so I think in that way, I can't say that it's always been as strong. I have moments, I tend to have moments that I feel I see between the veil of illusion that we tend to be in. We tend to be in this plane and thinking of it as this is the all. But that veil lifts for me, and it's always been my ally. It's come to me in times that I have been really ready for it. Like, okay, so what is the way for this? And then I don't push the button, but I allow it and then watch the magnificence. And it never comes through the same exact way. So I love that because I could get bored.
Great. And with you've made your business, yes, spirituality.
Oh, I couldn't help it. And I have a tendency to feel that really anything is spirituality.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of recognizing that and being with that aspect of it,
Hmm.
because so often we tend to think that, well, bookkeeping isn't spiritual, but praying is. That might be two examples, right? But you can approach bookkeeping in a way that you invite your spirit, and you're very present with the action, and you do it as an act of devotion to the present moment and to the service that needs to be done. And so in that sense, I believe that everything is spiritual.
Well, when I do my accounts, I'm going to have to start thinking of it like this, because I will do everything to put it off.
Oh, well, you might
Um,
enjoy it more if you do it that way. And to watch, like, it looks like magic once you're in that tune of it. It's like, oh, you get guided. And yeah, I try to do that with all of the things that I do, including the things that I might not enjoy as much. It helps me to be with it.
well, I'll have to remember that. It's actually a really good thing that when you are doing things that you don't like, think of it as being spiritual, and maybe it will become nicer or easier and things like that. Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Because okay, so tell us a bit about what sort of businesses you do.
Okay. Well, uh, if I was to look at everything I do, it would be spiritual. It's a spiritual business. I've always had a spiritual business, and it's also always had a high component of healing to it. And I've always been in the arts, and so I started out as a visual artist. And my work, I would make shields for women to wear, like that. They were beautiful clothing and beautiful jewelry, but it was when they were. It was created with the intention of giving them a shield for safety in this planet. And also, I made it for men as well, and for those who may feel that within themselves they have a tendency to create negativity and harm others, so that they could be protected from themselves. Because I really believe that people don't harm others unless they're really hurting inside. So there's a need for healing from both angles of that. And so my work has been used for that, and I did it intentionally, as well as then I went on to become a musician. So my boyfriend, when we broke up, he gave me his harp, and I didn't know I was going to play it. But once I pulled it out, I couldn't put it down. It put me in a trance. And I went into the land of the Tirnanog, which, in case you don't know, is the always young. So I went into my heart just went into this timeless place, and I rode on the vibrations of the music for many, many years. And I still do, but now I also visit other places because now I'm a life coach. I had cancer about 5 or 6 years ago now. I was diagnosed. And, in the beginning, it was really hard for me to I was in a place, I was doing my work, I was doing my spiritual work. I had a lot of spiritual practice, but I had a dream. And the dream was that I was on this very small little island that was like just a rock in the ocean. And the waves were quite fierce. And I kept on falling asleep. And I was really just ledging on the rock. And I kept on falling asleep. And this angel kept on coming and saying, "You have to wake up, or this is going to be the end for you. And you're not ready for it to be the end." And she would say it to me, and then I would find myself still not being able to resist the call to sleeping. And then I woke up. And I remember that feeling so strongly. And I remember I went to a friend's house, a wonderful friend, and I told her about that dream. And we both sort of like, well, what is that? We were both, but I was kind of quizzical about it. I usually can tell what that means. But then it was not very long after that I got diagnosed with a cancer. And so then the cancer journey, I had many visions like that. Those, remember earlier on in our conversation, I mentioned about the moments where the veils are lifted so I could see between the worlds. I had many moments like that. And I don't know if we have time today, because there's so many. I can maybe, say them every once in a while, when I'm part of the group, I can do little things like that. But the journey was full of that. And I knew from pretty much once I decided I did want to leave, we did want to live, not leave, but live. Minor difference. That I did have my way of healing was to raise my vibration. It wasn't to fight, and I would explore whether something was a direction I wanted to put my attention in, or a food I wanted to eat, or a supplement I wanted to take, or an activity, whatever, any decision that I had in front of me. I sort of be witness to it, and sort of like be an overlooker to see, well, is this life? Is this life manifesting? Or is this like a stage prop and it's just a gateway to, whatever, disaster? And I could see that very clearly at that time. My eyes were very in tune. My spiritual eyes were very in tune to the quality of things, and they still are. But they seemed like they were more open then. I think because it was a new level of seeing. And I've become more used to seeing things that way now. And that guided me really, really well. There were times I was afraid and I let myself cry. I let myself have all my emotions and I honored that. But my goal was to live every moment as well as I could, because I realized at that point how vulnerable life was. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night one night, and I had cried myself to sleep. And in that night, I woke up with this clarity of like, it doesn't really matter when I die. It doesn't matter what I die from. You know, I have no idea what it is. Of course, I want to go to sleep happy and die then. But, everybody does, and we don't all get to do that. But it doesn't really matter because, basically I'm going to do transition when the time is right. And what matters? So my words were, it doesn't really matter when I die or what I die from, but what matters is how I live each moment. And that became a very, very, that's like my commandment, how am I doing with this moment in life, right? Am I really, really being grateful for this next breath and for the breath I just took and for the breath that is still within me? And framing my life that way it fills it with miracles.
Nice, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how spirit, you go through these sort of platforms and then you just suddenly spike up and then it sort of opens a whole new sort of realm and things like that. Because
Yes.
like you, except I don't have my visions, mine's much more clairaudient. I'm really clairaudient. And when I have things that like you were going through, obviously not as bad, but if I'm going things, if I ask, they will tell me,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, it's really incredible how they do it. Even it's through you, not sort of speaking, sometimes speaking, but it's also through you, so it's exciting. But it's really, I love the way that you were talking about how this sort of sudden rise, it gives you this new sort of, it's like a new set of tools to help you
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there are so many. I remember when I was going through the journey, I had gathered a lot of tools, frankincense being one of them. Although I liked essential oils before then, I had no idea the power that I was about to meet in them. And I met so many tools that I felt so good about my choices that I felt like I don't really need. I'll put those ones aside in case I need them later. Like I had such an abundance instruments of them that I didn't even feel I needed to use them all, and I never really did use them. So that was really very, very wonderful gift. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah, I'm so grateful for it.
Because I know some of the things that you're into now is a lot on in music, and you were,
Yeah.
yeah, and earlier you were playing the yeah.
Yes.
I'll let you tell everybody all about what you do because this is just
Okay.
really gorgeous.
Yes.
Um, so hopefully even on the replay, hopefully you'll be able to hear, well, not hear, but feel the energy fly, coming through. It's absolutely amazing. She just did two beforehand. I'm going to speak now because I don't want to obviously speak during. So me, I have to speak.
Mm.
So yeah, when she does play, I don't know if it'll happen again, but there's the most, you can really feel the energy just sort of going through you, or I can. And I'm sure you guys will be able to too, hopefully. And it's so amazing, that energy, if you just sort of feel it and let it go through. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, I was just stuck for words. So anyway, back to DeLuna, which is much better.
Mm. Thank you. A calling together of spirits. Dear ones, I speak to your heart, to you as souls traveling in a body, a divine temple. Ooh, 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 ooh. We are one of spirit, one of energy. As a crystal with many facets, each one glorious. Oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. May you all feel the support of the earth, going through your whole being. And may your internal light feel ignited, using that flame to spread the light and destroy the illusion within yourself that keeps you blocked from your highest possible potential. May you be free to celebrate and live in full life. Oh.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that was really beautiful. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we so look forward to seeing you in the group and finding out much more about you and all the various wonderful things that you can do.
Oh, thank you, Nikki, so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for being there and creating this beautiful hearth for women, and I believe there's men in the group as well. I haven't noticed that, but yes. So for all of the beings that come, wonderful. Those I'm sure are very, very special men. So wonderful. Thank you, Nikki.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
You too. Blessings. Blessings to you all.